I can already tell, if you're wondering, who the hell is this person that's sitting in front of the camera right now talking to herself? Yes, it is I. I'm still the same person. I just happen to magically have changed my hair color. And I don't know why I'm talking like Captain Kirk from Star Trek. But yeah, I changed my hair color. I am now blonde. So if you like it, great. If you don't, I'm sorry. But I like it. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I don't know why. I actually have a style to it, so it's not actually just like just sitting there. But it's kind of shorter. It's a bit shorter than it was before, but I like it. I hope you do too. But let's go ahead and get right into the video. Hello everyone! My name is Trianala, but you can always just call me Tria or Kinsey, I don't really care. And guys, today we are going to be doing a review on the new UE or Ultimate Ears Boom 2 speaker. So just like all my other reviews, we're going to be doing the pros and the cons. We're going to start with the pros first and then move on to the cons at the end. The first thing that I did want to do with this speaker in particular is I wanted to do a little bit of an overview, just kind of give out some specs and stuff first. So let's go ahead and get into the specs part of this. The max sound level for this speaker is going to be 90 dBA. If you don't know what dBA means, that means a weighted decibel, so basically means how loud the speaker can get. So it will be around 90 dBA in that aspect. The frequency is going to be around 90 Hz to 20 kHz. For the drivers, it has two 45mm active drivers and two 45mm by 80mm passive drivers. Now, this speaker is also said to be waterproof. It does say on the website that it can't be submerged within 1 meter or about 3 feet of water for about 30 minutes. Which doesn't technically mean waterproof, basically just water resistant, because I know some people are gonna just stick this in some water and it says waterproof on the website. They're gonna stick it in some water and then it's gonna break and they're gonna be like, what happened? It says waterproof, but it's not. The speaker does have a rechargeable lithium-ion battery for up to 15 hours of use between micro USB charges. Obviously, they do say that battery life will vary depending on the settings, the environment, and how often you're using it. So it may not be a full 15 hours, but you kind of give or take a few hours here and there. And they did say that it takes about 2.5 hours to fully charge from dead. So that does it for the specs and the little kind of overview on the Boom 2. So let's go ahead and get straight into the pros and cons. Now, I have had this speaker for a little over a month now. It has been my main driver when it comes to portable Bluetooth speakers. But the first pro we're going to have on this speaker here is going to be the actual audio quality, the sound of the device, the main reason why you would actually buy a speaker. This speaker is loud. It is extremely loud. Even at a mediocre volume, maybe like halfway or slightly above, it still puts out a really heavy sound. And from my experience with about a month of use, I do say that the quality is actually really good. I love the audio quality. I think it sounds wonderful. It really has a nice bass to it. Whenever you listen to songs with a lot of bass, you can really hear that inside this speaker. And even if you hold it in your hand, you can feel the bass in your hand. So it is really good on that aspect. I did also do a little bit of a science experiment where I turned the speaker on full volume as high as it would possibly go, turned my phone on full volume for the song as well, as high as it would possibly go, just to see if the speaker would sound tinny at that point, if it started to sound bad, or if it started to sound very staticky because it was just so loud. And I did not have that issue at all. I turned it up as high as it would go and it still sounded wonderful. And I also just wanted to show a little bit of the speaker's power. I do have some non-copyrighted music on my phone here, so let's go ahead and play a little bit. So as you you can see, as you can hear, hopefully it picked up well on the camera, but as you can see on that, it does have a really nice sound. You know, hopefully it does justice for the camera on my end. It really sounded great. The bass really sounded nice and heavy. The actual music sounded really full. It didn't sound like it was lacking anything. So in my opinion, the actual audio of this device is definitely a win. And the second pro I have on this speaker is going to be the portability of it. How easy is it to carry and how practical is it to have it everywhere you go? Now, like I said, I've been using this for about a month and I have had to carry this with me on occasion, a couple of times actually, and I have found that it's honestly not that hard to do. Primarily what I normally do is I keep this in my car, you know, after charges and stuff like that, make sure it's charged. I keep it in my car, and then whenever I go places, I just plug my phone up to this and play it directly out of my car, because my car is a 99 and doesn't have an aux port. So in my opinion, I have not had any issues carrying this thing around because it's in my car, but for other people, I still would not see any issues with having this, you know, actually in your hand or in your backpack or purse, maybe not your purse, but you know, some kind of carrying case or something like that. It's not very heavy. It weighs not even a pound. It is extremely light for what it is. It does have a little bit of weight to it, does not feel cheap at all, but it's not heavy by any means. And also, another little neat bit to this is that right here underneath, it has this little thing right here. If you can see that little latch right there. This is unscrewable and you can actually screw in a tripod. So if you are at a party or something and if you are the person to bring the music, then you can, you know, in theory, put a tripod into the butt of this speaker and listen to it without having to carry it around at all. Another great thing that you can also use with this little latch here is that you can just hook it on to anything you have, maybe your backpack, or if you ride a bike, you can hook it onto your bike and just have it playing while you're, you know, cycling or just walking to school or something like that. Then that is definitely very useful as well. It's really convenient because you can just hook it onto something and just have it hang there. So when it comes to portability on this speaker, I do think that it is very practical. It is light, it's not heavy at all. It is quite a nice size, so it's not too bulky. You can fit it pretty much anywhere. And also the great thing is this little latch, again, you can hook it straight on to your backpack or bike, anything that you really have. And also it unscrews to put a tripod into it as well. So when it comes to portability, I think it definitely hits the mark. And the next pro I have on this speaker is going to be the durability. And yes, you heard me correctly, durability. This speaker is said on the website, and in my personal opinion, is virtually indestructible. And I will tell you why. So portable speakers in general are meant to be used portably. So they're meant to be taken places. So that does mean that it can be dropped from a high distance. It can be stepped on. It can be knocked over. And you don't want something like that to happen to a speaker and it just immediately break. And I can definitely attest to this, that I have dropped this speaker by accident and on purpose multiple times to see if that is true. I probably should not have done that, but I did anyways, because I wanted to see if the actual theory was true or not. And I did notice that it was. Now, I will say that I did not take this and chuck it as hard as I could at a wall, but I have dropped it a few times, and sometimes from a pretty decent height. I had it on top of my car one time and it fell off of my car directly onto the concrete, and it didn't buff it. It didn't hurt it. It didn't put any cracks in it or anything like that. It still looks wonderful. The sound quality still sounds great. It did not mess up anything inside of the actual device. So the actual durability of this speaker is really, really good in my opinion. And guys, the last pro I have on this speaker is going to be the actual price point. Now, this speaker, in my opinion, does actually have a pretty nice price point to it. It is $199.99. Then you might be asking yourself or thinking, whoa, that's actually really expensive, 200 bucks for a speaker. Yes, it can be expensive for some people, but for what you're getting in the speaker, really great sound quality, the durability coupled with the waterproof/resistance, and with the portability on this device, I do not think that it's a bad price point at all. You know, I've had speakers in the past that are around the exact same price point, but they don't have any kind of durability. They don't have any kind of water resistance / waterproofness. They don't have any kind of portability options, you know, like the little latch on the bottom here. And they also don't have as good of an audio quality as this one seems to have. So for everything that you're getting inside this little package here, I definitely think it's really good. I actually really do enjoy it a lot. And guys, we have gone through the pros on the UE Boom 2 speaker. Now let's go ahead and move on to the cons. Wah wah. So the first con I have with this speaker is going to be the battery life. So yes, the battery life in my opinion is definitely going to be subpar. It does say that it has up to 15 hours of battery life, but I did not find that the case in my opinion whatsoever. So I would charge this thing to full for at least 8 hours just to make sure that it was charged 100%, and then it would die within probably 2 hours. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, if it's user error or if it's actually the speaker itself. I have read some other reviews and people are saying that the battery life is not what they thought it would be. So kind of let me know. If you know anything that I'm doing wrong, then please let me know because I want to know that. But for my opinion, the battery life is basically non-existent. And the last con that I do have on this speaker, there's only two, but the last one that I do have is going to be the connectivity. What I mean by connectivity is the actual distance that you can take your phone out of a room without it losing the connectivity to the speaker. And I found that it is not very long. So I have this usually sitting in my room, like on my nightstand or something, and it works great whenever I'm in my room with my phone playing music. But if I go out into my living room, which is literally about 5 or 6 feet away from my room, it will start sounding really bad. It will start disconnecting, it'll start skipping, and then eventually if I go too far, it'll just disconnect entirely. So I definitely think that is a huge bummer because I thought that the connectivity, the length would be longer than it is. So that was definitely a huge bummer when I realized that. At first I thought it was something going on with the actual speaker or my phone or something, but then I was like, oh, the connectivity. So that kind of sucks. I definitely thought the connectivity would be a lot longer than that. So guys, that is going to be my review on the UE Boom 2 speaker. I really hope that this video did help you kind of decide on if you were going to pick this one up or skip this one, the pros and cons and such. But guys, I am going to end the video here. If you liked it, please click up the like button and then subscribe if you want to. If you want to see other videos that I post, and when I post them, click the little bell down at the bottom there, and I will see you guys later.